Well, take a look. This is the view inside Hurricane Lee from a Hurricane Hunter airplane, which at that point was a Category 5 storm. Lightning flashed as it flew deep into the eye of the storm yesterday. Lee has proven to be a rare storm.
Meteorologist Amber Wheeler explains.
Hurricane Lee has officially made history with its rapid intensification over such a short period of time. It went from tropical depression number 13 on Tuesday morning to a Category 5 hurricane just 2 days later by Thursday. With each new advisory put out by the National Hurricane Center, Lee was grabbing the headlines. And it's now on a short list of hurricanes that have intensified with 80-mile-per-hour winds or more within 24 hours. The strongest on this list is Wilma with sustained wind speeds of 185. Lee will have had the strongest wind speeds of 165, just to kind of give you some perspective here. But notice that all of these hurricanes happen within the last 13 years. No other storms have intensified in such a short period of time before 2005. And this list comes from hurricanes dating back to 1966. This shows that rapid intensification is a part of our new normal. Something else interesting to note about Lee is it's in hotter than normal water, which is the culprit behind the rapid intensification, but it's headed for cooler water in the wake of Hurricane Franklin, which drew cooler water to the surface. And while it's unclear how this could impact its power this far out, is definitely something we'll be watching. Back to you.